Going to be a long journey from the Queen's favourite residence, her summer residence, Balmoral Castle, which is very much a remote place in the middle of the northern Scottish countryside, all the way past those bigger cities and towns of Aberdeen, Dundee, Perth, and finally to Edinburgh 6 hours later. Now, it is a journey of just 175 miles, but part of the reason that it'll take that long is due to the nature of the small roads that the cortege will have to take, at least initially, but also because at certain points it has been planned that this cortege will go at walking pace through certain villages because, of course, many people will be wanting to turn out and see the cortege go by. They will see in this funeral hearse that they will be able to see the coffin draped in the royal standard and also with a white wreath placed on top. As you've been saying, you know, Scotland, one of the Queen's favourite places, and there are going to be a lot of people who are going to be wanting to see this cortege go by. It's being followed, the Queen's coffin, by Princess Anne, the Queen's only daughter. She's part of that procession, and once they get to Edinburgh, the First Minister of Scotland will be among the dignitaries who greet the cortege before the coffin is placed in the Palace of Holyrood House, the Queen's official residence in Scotland, where it will remain for the rest of today. Tomorrow it will be moved to St Giles Cathedral in Edinburgh, and it's tomorrow as well that King Charles will leave Clarence House, his official residence where I am right now, and head up to Scotland as well.
Yeah, and Catherine, you mentioned it a couple of times about how Balmoral Castle was so dear to the Queen. Why did she like it so much?
Well, the Queen was known as somebody who loved nature. She loved the countryside. When she was a little girl, she told one of her tutors, "When I grow up, I want to be a country lady with lots of horses and lots of dogs." And I think that those are images that many of our viewers will remember seeing of the Queen with her simple headscarf on, a green wax jacket, tramping around in the Scottish hills, joining hunting parties up there as well. People who've watched the TV series The Crown will have seen that represented there. And it's true that the Queen spent a great deal of time in Scotland. She enjoyed it a lot. She enjoyed mingling with some of the Scottish people, the locals to Balmoral Castle, who we know were quite used to seeing the Queen around. There's a nice anecdote as well about how she bumped into some American tourists once. They didn't actually know who she was, and she enjoyed the anonymity of the moment. It ought to be said that actually the Queen, of course, the Queen of the entire United Kingdom, and that of course includes Scotland as well as England, Wales and Northern Ireland. She actually has more Scottish ancestry in her lineage than English, partly thanks to her mother's side of the family. So yes, Scotland, for many, many reasons, a place that was very important to the Queen.
Yeah, and what we're looking at now on our screens is this procession continuing, the start of the final journey for the Queen, culminating with a state funeral on September 19th.
Yes, a state funeral. It's going to be a very, very big occasion. A public holiday has been declared across the entire United Kingdom for Monday, September the 19th, the date of the funeral. It's also been confirmed by the British government's Department of Education that all schools and colleges will be closed on that day, as is normal for a bank holiday. Of course, the first time in most people's living memory that a British monarch has passed on, and there's been a funeral for a British monarch. And so it is anticipated that there will be absolutely enormous numbers of people who want to come to the streets of London and try and take part in it in some way, or at least watch it on their televisions at home. It's certainly going to be a very big occasion.